Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
In all things in beauty. Welcome to Radio AMB, designed for those who want to live a long and vibrant life. I'm Patty Schmucker, who's been in the industry for almost 40 years. And Radio AMB, which stands for American Made Beauty, is the place that we tell the secrets behind the making of health and beauty products. Our segment sponsor for today is AmericanMadeBeauty.com, a beauty platform designed to help consumers find beauty companies that are implementing the industry's best practices to bring you quality products and services. Go to AmericanMadeBeauty.com to find beauty products and services that meet a strict set of standards that reflect their American heritage. Do you want to sample some of our brands? Click on the consumer page and sign up for your free American Made Beauty box. Customize with the brands you want to try with products that are selected for you. That's AmericanMadeBeauty.com. For those of you that haven't heard my story on how I got into the beauty industry, I had the opportunity to attend beauty school while I was just in high school. I was working a part-time job at the time, folding clothes at Kmart. I remember it like it was yesterday, that my boss sat me down once he learned my plans for the future to give me some friendly advice. This man, in his late 30s at the time, proceeded to explain to me how a career doing hair was a recipe for disaster, and that I should stay in school, go to college, and be a success just like him. Well, needless to say, I had a very hard time taking him seriously, and my guest today is a woman that has helped change the perception of those of us both in the industry and the world outside of the industry to understand that we aren't just hairdressers. During our feature segment today, you'll meet Vivienne Mackinder, one of the grand dames of the industry. We'll learn a little bit about how she got into the industry and hear some significant crossroads that have led to where she is today. During the rest of the show, we're going to stray from our normal format to allow for this special interview to unfold, and I know that you'll love to hear about the amazing work that Vivienne has done. So let's get started, and let me tell you a little bit more about Vivienne. Much like the way her horses transport her to a world where nature inspires the colors and shapes of hair creation, Vivienne Mackinder's image transports hairdressers to a world where creative talent is only limited by one's imagination. Founder of HairDesignTV.com and a 7-time winner of the North American Hairdressers Award, Mackinder has worked alongside some of the most respected names in the professional industry. Upon graduating from the London College of Fashion, Mackinder worked for Vidal Sassoon, eventually becoming his artistic director. In 1990, she left London for the United States to work with Trevor Sorvey as his international creative director. During her time working with both, she learned valuable lessons that she's instilled in hairdressers as she works to help them advance their careers, either through in-person workshops, industry events, and online with our website and HairDesignTV.com. Launched in 2002, HairDesignTV.com is a fee-based educational platform designed to provide hairdressers with basic and advanced techniques through videos, step-by-step, and instructions. Mackinder posts collections as well as live workshops. Vivienne's skills and passion for her craft are continuously recognized in the ever-changing industry despite the rapid turnover in trends. Vivienne was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from NAHA in 2009 and the International Icon Award from the Irish Hairdresser Federation in 2011. These are just two of the many prestigious accolades she's received in her career. Through her many years in the industry, Vivian has remained at the forefront, and her name is recognized as often as her work. Vivian, I'm delighted to have you with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so very much. It's a delight to be with you, Patty.
So tell us a little bit about where you're located right now, and after all of the amazing things you've done in your career, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, there's no such thing as a typical day, but today I am in the Hamptons. I actually have a production studio here, so I kind of float between the Hamptons and New York, and my horse, which you did mention, lives just down the road, so it's perfect.
That sounds like a wonderful, wonderful way to be able to stimulate your creativity, is to be able to get out, and sounds like that's an important part of keeping you alive.
Well, you know, I think today we all work so terribly hard, and if we don't take those moments to give back to us, we then start to run on empty. Right. And then illness and stress and all that other nonsense starts to creep in. And for years I worked so crazy hard, and I still do work hard, and there really isn't a typical day. But in working so hard, it was always, well, tomorrow I'll do this, or tomorrow I'll do this. And a very sobering reality was that when my father passed away before he was able to enjoy his retirement, the golf cart sat in the garage. And we always used to say to Dad, go out and play golf. And he'd say, oh, Vivi, darling, I'm far too busy. And then he passed away. And I think that, you know, it's sort of a sober way of starting this, but the reality is today, if we don't take those times for ourselves, whether it's going to the salon and pampering yourself, or whether it's investing in education, whatever it may be that fills you up and makes you feel good, if we don't do that, then we're not living our life fully. So I try now very hard, in fact I do now very hard, to cut out those slices of time where I can say, okay, I'm going to play hard and work hard.
Right, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the journey. You started out in London. Did you know that at what point did you know that you wanted to be in the beauty industry?
Actually, I think the industry found me. I didn't find it. I was actually classically trained as a dancer, and from the age of 6, I was dancing, and I was a terribly shy child, and I think my mother thought the only way to get me out and about would be to put me into a dancing class. And I found that I loved it. And so I went from having a hobby into a career. And then one day I said, you know what, Viv, you don't have what it takes to really continue. So at the age of 19, I stopped. And I met this marvelous woman who worked at the BBC. She was head of the wig department. And Chrissy said to me, you know, if you're going to sort of step away from the stage, why don't you go backstage? And I was always intrigued when I was a performer to sort of see all the actors and the dancers come in their street clothes and then be transformed into these new persons backstage. And then they would take on a whole new personality. And I thought, God, that's really fascinating. And so I actually thought, well, I'll go from on stage to backstage, and I'll learn about hair and makeup, and I'll make that my career. So that was how it began.
In the early stages, so you're in London, did you find Vidal Sassoon? Was that sort of an inspiration in how you got into the industry?
No, it wasn't actually, because I thought I was going to be this marvelous person in film or theatre. I couldn't quite figure out which. I went through a 2-year program at London College of Fashion, and they specialized in that sort of work. So I truly thought my life would always be within the entertainment business. And there was one critical thing that was never, ever discussed at college. And I think this applies to life itself. You can have technical skills. You can technically learn how to do something. But if you don't have the aptitudes that support it, you're going to mechanically go through your life without that passion. And I lacked one very critical thing, which was the ability for continuity, which means doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and the repetition. So while many of us may like doing something once, we don't want to do it 100 times. And I think that the critical thing is to find that balance between what you love, what you're destined to do, what your natural aptitudes are, and where your passion lies. So, no, I went off in that direction only to find out, oh, gosh, I don't have that skill set. And then I thought, well, I've got to go to the best of the best. And I went and did an actual course at Vidal Sassoon while I was at college, and that was the thing that just opened my world to a whole nother world that I didn't even know existed.
So you went to school, determined that the nature of the work, which was to do the same thing over and over again, wasn't in your DNA. What was it about being trained in the Sassoon approach made you realize that it didn't have to be repetitive?
Well, I think when you tap into something, and bear in mind then, Sassoon's was the it company in the world. Mm-hmm. And I always remember the first day I walked in there and the doors closed on me. I thought, oh, gosh, I've entered a prison. The discipline, the silence, no one laughed. I presumed it wasn't meant to be fun. The client sat there terrified. Everyone walked out with geometric haircuts. And it was such a serious art form. And the discipline that was part of it and the variety and the creativity was so huge. So no two ladies ever went out with the same hairstyle. So there was this incredible degree of creativity because we were pioneering, and there weren't Me Too's at that point in time.
And so that's where you began to see that you could do the same craft but be able to really tweak it and make it customized.
Oh, yeah, and I think that that's critically important because I think any business, like in hairdressing, you can have a gravitation towards the science of it and be enthralled by chemistry and biology. You can be pulled into the management side of the business, teaching, editorial work, fashion shows. I mean, I just did Fashion Week, and there is a whole different set of aptitudes you need for Fashion Week versus being behind the chair in a salon pleasing one client at a time. So all of them require a dexterity skill, of course. And I believe today, more than ever before, extraordinary soft skills, the ability to communicate and the ability to really hear what someone's saying and also what they're not saying. Right, and I think that when you have that and then you find your niche, that's where you can find something that's very, very special so that you get, you're excited about going to work.
Right, exactly. Well, it sounds like attending the Sassoon Academy was a crossroads that gave you another view of the business. Was there some other significant crossroads that allowed you to continue to evolve in your career?
Well, I think when I was at Sassoon's, I still in the back of my mind thought, well, I'll just do this to get experience working with people, and then I will go back into this original desire, which started to go from a dream to a fantasy, to be honest, because it wasn't based on any truth or any reality. And one day Sassoon said to me, you're going to go and do a show. And the show was at this huge place in London where I'd seen concerts and my pop star heroes playing. And I thought, oh, goodness me, I'm going to go there. And then I said, well, what will I do? They said, well, you're going to stand on a stage. I went, oh, dear, what will I do on the stage? And they said, you'll cut hair. And, the dancer in me thought, how dreadfully boring. And they must have seen something in me, I don't know what, because I stepped onto the stage and I just felt, oh, this is like, the good old times. You step onto the stage, but I'd never spoken in all of my dancing career. I never opened my voice, which was a blessing, trust me.
Right.
I certainly couldn't sing. And so all of a sudden I'm on this massive stage. I see these huge screens and my hands are on the screen and I can see my hands trembling on the screen and I'm thinking, oh, gosh, can someone die from doing a haircut? Because I thought I was going to die. And somehow, miraculously, I got through it. And somehow they saw something that I certainly did not see, which was that I could have this world of traveling the world and presenting on stages all around the world. And eventually I got confident enough to start speaking. And it's ironical, that was a huge turning point. So it was like I circled back into a theatrical world, but not being behind. And all of a sudden I was in the front of the stage. And that was a huge turning point.
Absolutely. What was it that you said, because you started the story and said that you were incredibly shy. Now you've transformed. You're now on stage. You're being, you're on the spotlight where not only your face and speaking and your hands, but you're having to communicate. What got you, what was that gained, where did you gain the confidence to speak?
I don't really know. I mean, my mother used to say, because I used to go home crying so much, because it wasn't the prettiest time training at Sassoon's because they were so tough. And my mother would say, "Oh, don't worry, darling. One day you'll be good, and then you'll like it." And I'd say, "Oh, Mummy, I'm just, it's another disaster today and another disaster today." And she kept saying to me, "Don't worry." And then the people that were around me saw something in me that I did not, as I say, I did not see, and I was just pushed into it. I didn't think I had a choice. It was like, you've got to do this. It was like, oh gosh, oh dear, this is really terrifying. And somehow, a little tiny bit at a time, I got to be more confident. Then, thank goodness, they sent me for training, which was very helpful. And then I started to realize, I'm here to help people. And, if you can turn around at the end of your day and say, I added value to someone's life by helping them be a better professional and encouraging, inspiring, motivating, teaching, then, you've done something that's hugely different. So eventually the focus was not about me. It was about what could I give to other people. And I think probably that was another big turning point.
Yeah, when you're able to get outside of yourself and be able to focus on making a difference in the lives of other people. So you're in London and you're involved in now actually training for Sassoon. At that point, are you starting to travel all over the world?
Yes, I did, and I was also doing print work, and I had no idea what a whole world of editorial and print world was about, but I was sent off to studios, and I used to have to go and work for magazines and newspapers and so on and so forth, and that was, again, another rude awakening because it's a different discipline to understand how does the camera see somebody and to learn how to design from the camera's perspective. And, today, if somebody had said to us years ago that a phone wouldn't be attached to the wall and a phone would basically run our lives and we could take a photograph from our phone, we'd have said, you crazy.
Right.
And today, we are quite savvy, all of us, in knowing what's a good picture and a bad picture. We are understanding light because we do selfies and we take pictures of each other. The phone is attached to us 24/7, isn't it?
Right.
Whereas in the day when I was training, it was film, and you didn't get to see the film until the job was long done and gone.
Right.
Just like someone having a Christmas holiday and they don't know if they got the pictures until New Year.
Right. It's a bizarre concept, but it's true. I mean, the idea that you could take a picture and immediately see it, I mean, it would be weeks, sometimes months, before we would be able to see the result of pictures taking.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are all things today which we're very blessed to have because it trains our eyes. And I think, to the consumer that's going into the salon and having a beautiful service, to be able to photograph that immediately in very pretty light, you've got a great photograph. You haven't had to go into a professional studio, and if it's taken correctly and you put a filter on it, you've got something that looks simply super. But when I was doing all this stuff, it was just praying that it would work.
Well, when we spoke in our pre-interview, you said something that really struck a chord with me, and it sounds like you've really been able to do that, and that is that your philosophy is to design a lifestyle and then back a career into it. Tell us a little bit about how that has manifested in your own life.
Well, actually, I learned it very late in my career, but when I did, it was a rude awakening, and I think that so many times we get pulled into an occupation, a profession, without that mindfulness as to where will it lead us and what's the quality of our life and what's the sacrifice. And, to the working mothers, the sacrifice that they're going to make, and how do we juggle all of these things and have quality. And today there's such an abundance of choice, but abundance of choice doesn't necessarily equal quality. Right. So when I realized one day, design the lifestyle I want, and it was one of those exercises with Post-it notes. And it's something that I really encourage any of our listeners to do, because it doesn't matter what point you are in your life, we should always be redesigning. and reinventing ourselves to create that sort of fascination. So what I did was I took a whole bunch of Post-it notes, and I just purged ideas, one idea, one thought on one Post-it note. And I just purged until there were no other ideas left. Like, what do I want? What do I dream of? Don't limit the dream. Think big, think big, think big. What is success? What does that mean to me? And after I was done with that, I had all these Post-it notes. Mm-hmm. But then I brought them back, and I put them on a wall, and I thought, that's my life. Those are all the dreams that I have. Now, some of them may be fantasies, but some of them, I could make them come true. Now let's organize them, which is kind of starting to systemize, and organization is part of goal setting. Right. But it came from a sort of a spirit-filled, inspired place with possibility thinking. And so when I looked at that, I really got clear about what I want and what I don't want, and how do I then creatively design my lifestyle and then have that career fit into it. And obviously, I'm a city girl, but I love horses. So the choice to have Manhattan just down the road from me and have a country life with a horse was very important. I'm not in the boonies where I'm, 1,000 miles away from civilization. I've designed my lifestyle for the things that make me feel alive and make me be a better person. So I highly recommend everyone does that. And, it's a good thing to do once a year, too, to just do a checks and balance.
And I love that. So basically, you took on Post-it notes, you took those, and you just been. It sounds like you did not only a mind melt, but a soul dump, where you dumped out all of those ideas and then organized them and be able to really have that spirit-filled, inspirational place to design the life that you really want to have. Very, very inspiring. And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about some things that you've discovered along the way, including those 3 elements of a quality person that also sort of lines up in building a successful career. So don't go away. We're here with Vivian Mackinder. We'll be right back.
Shh. Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
What does HealthyLife.net and Amazon.com have in common? Well, they're both available on the Internet. They both give great value. But most important, most of our positive program hosts and guests are accomplished authors, and their books are available from, you got it, Amazon.com. Now, it even gets better than that, because when you're listening on air to a HealthyLife.net host or guest, you can go directly to Amazon.com and you can order your book while you're still listening to your favorite HealthyLife.net program. So when you hear an author you like, go to the homepage of HealthyLife.net and click on Amazon.com.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net. This is Patty Schmucker, and I'm here with Vivian Mackinder, and we are talking about the hairdressing business. She's founder of HairDesignTV.com and has been one of the most influential hairdressers in our industry for many, many years. So, Vivian, let's talk. We talked a little bit about how you developed your career along the way, doing all sorts of amazing things in creating the image that people see for beauty. And you had mentioned to me about some elements that you've discovered that line up with a successful career, about being a quality person. Can you share a little bit about that concept?
Well, you know, when we speak about beauty, there's so many ways of looking at it, isn't there? I've worked with one of the most beautiful women in the world, and sometimes the inside wasn't quite as pretty.
Right.
And I've worked with people who are somewhat plain on the outside, but the depth and the richness and the beauty of their smile, their compassion, their giving spirit made them even more beautiful. So I look at when I'm designing and when I'm working with a client, how do I bring out the inside and how do I match it to the outside? How do I bring the inner and the outer beauty and make that beautiful? Because that then is something that is so valuable.
Right. And so what is that? How do you tap into that?
Well, I believe that everything begins with an amazing consultation. Because a woman will go through a journey from being a student to a working girl to a working mother to a stay-at-home mom, careers change, hobbies, etc., etc. Maybe the dating door is swinging backwards and forwards. Who knows? We have a busy life. And each of those create different situations, right? And everything we do in life is a choice. You know, every outfit I put on is a choice. Every hairstyle I wear is a choice. And my choice says who I am. And it also says who I'm not. So I believe that when I'm working with someone one-to-one, the consultation is the gatekeeper, because I need to know two very important things about you: how you spend your time, how you spend your money. Because we all juggle both. One is easier to juggle than the other. And when I know that, I can find out what your priorities are. And when I dip into your lifestyle, which is how maintenance, of course, which is financial and time. When I dip into the landscape where you live, I look at what kind of fashion do you gravitate towards, and that kind of captures lifestyle. Today, there's not one trend. There are micro trends, and people belong to tribes. You know, there's either the sporty athletic tribe, or there's those ladies who lunch tribe who are very dressed classically and gorgeous. You've got your hippie bohemians, you've got your rock and roll chicks. I mean, there's such a diversity of style, and they're all on fashion. So it's being the best you that you can be and something you feel comfortable in. So if you're a minimal person, your home is minimal, it's very sort of beige on beige, and you come to me and I want to embellish you and I want to do lots of fun, different things, you're going to be super uncomfortable because you understand minimal, you don't understand embellished, and vice versa. So when I'm exploring that whole world from a lifestyle, and then I dip deeper into face shape, because my quest is always, how do I create oval, and how do I bring out the beauty in someone, which is always about emphasizing and disguising. And that's huge. So once I get those basics there, from your lifestyle of what you value, the practicality of time and money, because everything has to be maintained, and then I design to your bone structure, I design to your hair texture, I've got you walking out feeling amazing.
Right. And that really starts with that complete consultation that, as you said, starts with understanding the lifestyle and then goes into more of those technical kinds of things. But there's some attributes that someone needs in order to have the curiosity to take that time to do that kind of quality consultation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the worst thing I think anyone can do, and I'm going to say this to the hairdressers listening, don't go up to your guest and say, what are we doing today? She's obviously there to have her hair done. Now, that's such a stupid way of starting a consultation. I need to know how my guest feels. I need to ask really important questions. And my consultations actually are written out. It's like going to the doctor's office. You fill out the paperwork. So by the time you get to see me, I understand what you want and what you don't want. And there's no pressure with me, like, hovering over you, like, well, do you want this or do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want that? I mean, you've already told me in the comfort of your own space, and then I'm meeting you, and this form is already filled out. Because if I want to ask you about money, how much money do you want to spend, that's a really awkward question. And it can make some people feel very uncomfortable. So if I'm on a questionnaire saying how important is budget to you, important, somewhat important, not important, I will then know my measure of, okay, this lady is very budget sensitive. I'm not going to suggest that color technique. That's high maintenance. I'm not going to suggest hair extensions. That's costly and high maintenance. I'm going to suggest something that's wash and wear, easy peasy. And I think that's important.
Right, absolutely. But it seems too to be able to figure out that process, as well as being considerate in how you gain the information, takes certain curiosity about people. Do you think curiosity is an important aspect of the consultation as well?
Oh, I think curiosity is important for life. I think that's the beauty of a child, when you see how curious they are by the simplest things around the house, and they look at it with fascination. I think that as adults, it's our responsibility to keep curious, to keep an open heart and open mind, and be curious enough to ask all the right questions. Because when I, as a hairstylist, am helping someone step into a more beautiful version of themselves, it's not about me. It's 100% about them. And they have to be asked the relevant questions, and it's my responsibility to explore and discover. And for some people, they may physically be ready for, say, a short pixie haircut, but emotionally they're not. So you've got to really understand those huge differences where, me as a stranger looking at you could say, you could absolutely wear that hairstyle. Inside you actually don't feel that you could, because you don't have that confidence. Because, as you know, Patty, confidence with women is a whole other arena.
Absolutely, and with it, if I'm not sure which comes first, but certainly I went by myself from wearing my hair sort of mid-length, and I always look best in short hair. And when I made that change, it was like my shoulders were taller, I felt better. So I'm not sure if confidence comes because my hair is short, or when I'm short, I'm confident. But either way, it makes a huge difference in the way I feel and look. All right, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation with Vivian Mackinder. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need, from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome to Radio AMB. We're listening on HealthyLife.net. I'm Patty Schmucker, and I'm here with one of the icons of the beauty industry, Vivian Mackinder. We've been talking about the importance of getting, as a consumer, a consultation when you see a professional in the industry, and as a professional, how important that work is to be able to be curious and to be able to give your client the very best possible outcome. Vivian, it seems like that's really courageous on the part of a hairdresser to take that time. Do you find that that's a difficult step, and why is courage so important in the work a hairdresser will do?
I think it always requires courage and faith, actually, to take somebody in your hands and transform them. I think a really competent, highly skilled hairdresser who understands the inner and outer person that they're working with will have more faith, and they will believe in the outcome. Mm-hmm. Somebody who's less skilled, they may be fearful. Can I deliver on the promise? Do I even know how to execute that photograph that she's shown me from Pinterest or Instagram? And they may back away and talk the client into the same old trim. Mm-hmm. So I think courage and faith and vision all come from knowledge. When you have an incredible repertoire of skills and you have strong technique and you have a great imagination, because faith is imagining what doesn't exist. So when you're sitting in front of me with a wet hair and a towel wrapped around you, I have to have a vision of how you're going to be walking out of the salon with shoulders pulled back and your smile and feeling and looking beautiful. So, yeah, from that aspect, yes, courage is very vital. But, as I say, when you have knowledge, then you don't need to lean so much on courage.
Right. In your work today, with your education that you're offering, is this one of the places where the professional is going to be able to find this kind of information?
Yes, I mean, my site is for professionals only, and it's very in-depth and it's systemized, because I really believe that any kind of learning from a sports, music, dance, whatever the discipline, it needs to be systemized. And I don't think, with the greatest respect to YouTube, that you can just, as a professional, just cherry-pick your way through videos to become an expert. I think that it's one thing to go and look for some inspiration, but when you're still in your base of learning and growing and refining your skill set, I think that it has to be systemized. So that's what I offer on Hair Designer TV.
And tell us a little bit about Hair Designer TV. How does a professional join, and what do they get from being involved with it?
They can sign up. We have a free offering where you can sign up and you can explore it for a couple of weeks, but it is a membership-based program. And we have everything from cut, color, styling. We have inspirational movies. We have documentaries on how photo shoots are created. We have a lot of successful people speaking about their careers and their lives. It's the home of my film series, I'm Not Just a Hairdresser. So we've got some iconic people that tell their story, which is always inspiring to hear sort of rags to riches stories. So there's a plethora of information there. It's education, entertainment, and inspiration.
Right, exactly. I want to talk a little bit about I'm Not Just a Hairdresser series, but let's backtrack for just a second because you mentioned as far as learning the skill set, you do a lot of print work and have throughout your career. There's this illusion of beauty that consumers see in the media. And I know you have some thoughts around some of the distortion that occurs.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, well, alas, every single image that you'll see in a Condé Nast magazine is completely retouched. And, you have to bear in mind, too, that when we're working on a beautiful model who comes to you as this incredible canvas to paint and decorate, the foundation is extraordinary. She's 20 years old, beautiful features, amazing skin, and you've got your expert hairdresser, you've got your makeup artist, you've got your fashion stylist, you've got your photographer and all the lighting people, you've got art direction, and then in post-production, it goes into Photoshop, and there's retouching, there's stretching, there's slimming, and there's all sorts of manipulations that go on, and I'm guilty of it too. So what you start with and what you end up with is really different. In fact, it was funny, my husband was with me at one of the castings, and we must have had about 70 beautiful girls walk into the studio for a casting to select models for a shoot. And at one point he stopped and he said, "Darling," he said, "they don't look like their pictures in the book." I said, "For goodness sake, be quiet." I said, "You mustn't say that." He said, "But they don't." And he said, "They all need to eat more. They're so thin." And I'm like, yeah, well, that's the real them.
That's right. But why is that perpetuated? What is it in our society that has us be in a place where we have this thirst to consume this idyllic concept of beauty? And do you see it changing?
Well, I think the Dove campaign tried super hard, beauty for real people, and I don't see much of that anymore. I think there's this obsession for perfection, this obsession for you will have, if you use this cream, you will have perfect skin. If you use this, you'll be perfect. So it's driven by selling and marketing and the idea that if we purchase this, we will have. But it's not realistic at all because you can see some of the most beautiful celebrities in unattractive lighting, and then you can see them in a studio with this beautiful lighting and go, wow, they look 10 years younger. Lighting is everything because when anything casts a shadow on your face, as the light is moving the features downwards, you're not lifting, you're pulling down. And everyone who does a selfie knows if they raise their camera and shoot at a certain angle, you're going to look slimmer and it's more flattering. So it's just, we just don't live in a real world. And I think the first time somebody did excessive Photoshop, it became like the trend. And when you see real, people don't gravitate towards it as much. So in fashion, I don't see it going anywhere other than what it is right now.
And I guess that sort of circles us back to that the series that you did, I'm Not Just a Hairdresser, which has a bigger implication to this sense of self-confidence, that regardless of what the outside world is saying, that it's finding your peace and pride internally. Tell us a little bit about how you help others to find that inner sense of pride.
Well, I think no matter what your profession, there are the days you think, oh, I just don't want to do this anymore. We get tired, we get burnt out. And I think that, as I mentioned in the beginning, when you do what you love and you're passionate about it and you give it 100%, you will be successful. So I'm Not Just a Hairdresser tells the story, really, of iconic people who built empires and who, one client at a time, have created beauty, and they have added value to other people's lives, and that's a great thing.
Yes, it is a great, and you can see it online. It's just beautiful. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Vivian about that program and some of the other things that she's doing, the way she sees the future. Stay with us. This is AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
Here's the thing about beauty. It's pretty. At AmericanMadeBeauty.com, we're all about the pretty, making it easy for you to find what makes your beauty shine. We have essentially everything you need, and AmericanMadeBeauty.com celebrates brands that were created right here in the U.S. of A. Imagine everything you need from the best hair, skin, and nail products to makeup and even the tools, because it's all about pretty at AmericanMadeBeauty.com. We also think you're pretty important, so visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com. Browse, buy, learn. AmericanMadeBeauty.com.
When you're looking for bedding, department store prices can shock you. Well, be shocked no more. Sell steak cheap, not cheap steak. That's the motto of Anna's Linens. Although they don't sell steak, they do sell the best bedding, bath, and home decor items. They strive to provide their merchandise at extreme value to their customers, and they do it. Great everyday prices on everything and military discounts. Plus, if you visit them online, they have clearance items and internet specials. Visit them online now at HealthyLife.net's advertiser page.
We're looking for a few good American beauty manufacturers who want to increase their brand in an exclusive credentialed category. If you're an American company who has conceived, designed, and bottled brands that are all about pretty, then we're pretty sure we're talking about you. And we're pretty sure you should be on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. This beauty website focuses on entrepreneurs and beauty startups as well as established brands. If it's pretty, we want to see it, and we want to sell it on AmericanMadeBeauty.com. To learn how you can be part of AmericanMadeBeauty.com, visit AmericanMadeBeauty.com now.
Oh, man, it never fails. My suitcase just got ripped apart.
Life is a journey. Make it a pleasant one. Use Samsonite. You know the name. For almost a century, Samsonite luggage has proved itself to be the worldwide leader in innovative travel solutions. Let it be yours. Visit HealthyLife.net's affiliate Samsonite on our homepage and click to look at the fine luggage from suitcases to golf travel bags. And don't forget, take a look at their travel accessories. Make life a journey, a pleasant one, with Samsonite.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back. You're listening to Radio AMB on HealthyLife.net, where we tell the secrets of the making of health and beauty products. I'm Patty Schmucker, and we're here with one of the industry's most iconic people, Vivian Mackinder, and we've been talking about the hairdressing industry, how important a consultation is, both for the hairdresser to be able to truly provide the best quality service and for the consumer to get their best possible look. And Vivian, you did a series called "I'm Not Just a Hairdresser." Tell us why you did that and what you've learned from doing that.
Well, I've been very fortunate that I've worked for the best in the industry. I've traveled the world and worked always with the cream of the crop, and that was intentional. And I started to realize, my gosh, how many people have that fortunate position where I could call any iconic person and they will take my call, and I've had quality time with them. And I thought, there are stories and there are things that need to be shared with everybody, whether you're a hairdresser or not. Anyone who wants to learn and be the best that they can be needs guidance, needs mentoring. And while we can look at anything in life as the end result and go, wow, that's fabulous. You know, they always say, like the boxer, when they're boxing in the ring and they win their championship belt, the victory was just confirmed there, but the victory was every day when they showed up in that cold studio, boxing and training and working out and doing all the things they did without an audience. And I think the same thing applies with my film series. These people have such an incredible legacy and a story, but it wasn't all paved with gold. And I think telling the story and telling the story of the challenges, the struggles, And, you know, hearing about Vidal Sassoon, what he went through as a young boy, how he revolutionized women's hair back in the 60s, from liberating women from shampoos and sets to what we take for granted today, the courage to do that, the courage to present ideas that were new. Those stories, I didn't want them to die. I wanted people to know about them, and I wanted people to be able to seek their mentor, even if they can't touch them or pick up the phone and talk to them. I would connect them through this wonderful way of storytelling. And so that was the idea of it, and it's been very successful.
And I love that concept that the victory is confirmed at the time that you're sort of doing your final performance, the boxer that wins the championship, but the victory is every day when they show up. I love that, and it's such an important part of success that particularly when people are looking for that quick fix, often it gets lost. You do a lot of focus on the art form of the industry and being able to provide education. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing with your apprentice and mentoring programs.
Well, I decided that the biggest challenge in being in business today is being profitable. The world has become very competitive, and, you know, it's easy to get lost in this sea of sameness. So what can I do to support the salon who's working so hard just to keep their doors open? Right. Now add to this equation kids graduating from college who think that they can be the CEO of the company today. And everything appears so super easy because everything is so instant and so available. So there's this myth that, you know, you can overnight be this person. Well, that's not necessarily true, because what we're speaking to today is mastery. And the art and the craft and the creativity. So what I decided was, if I can support salons by giving them an online apprenticeship system, then I can be helping and coaching and mentoring the youngsters while the salon owner is taking care of making sure his business is as viable as possible, because education is a different medium to servicing a client every single day. It's the backbone, it's the humming in the background that keeps the business alive. And so that's where I put my focus.
And so it sort of all comes together in terms of being able to be that online resource for business owners. What do you see at this point as far as the difficult part of our industry, and where do you see it going in the future?
Well, you know, it's interesting because YouTube is teaching the hairdresser and the consumer how to do hair. There's plenty of consumers in their bathroom teaching how to do little tricks, and, you know, some of them do a great job, I have to say. Not everyone is as gifted and as patient to do their own hair, and a lot of people want to be pampered. So the salon business will always thrive, but what it has done is it's made for a more savvy consumer. And if the hairdresser doesn't stay ahead of the curve and constantly learn and reinvest in themselves, they will get left behind. Because anyone can do a long, square, layered hairstyle. It's as common as can be. The consumer can do it at home in her bathroom. I mean, it's not difficult to do. So if that's your go-to, you're soon going to be going out of business because it's common. And as you know, scarcity creates value. So I think it's about customizing, couture, making something individual. And I think great fashion stands out, and yet you fit in. So if you're bohemian, you stand out in your bohemian tribe, but you fit in. You don't look weird within that culture. So I think that we have to really dig deeper and push more and give more to the consumer. Do you know why? Because they're worth it.
Right. And that whole, I had the opportunity to have one of your trusted colleagues along the way, Stephen Moody, was on our show, and emulated some of the same concepts that, you know, that parted down the middle, long hair just doesn't fit everyone. And being able to find an expression that really is the appropriate expression of the lifestyle and the balance of the face and things like that is it's time. It's time for people to be able to start moving into something that is a better fit for them. Where do you think, how do you draw the hairdresser in? How do you draw the salon owner in to be able to take advantage of the mentoring and education programs that you have available?
Well, we basically have people reaching us, and we reach out to the salons who we feel would appreciate what we're doing, because those who truly are serious about being the best they can be within their marketplace, they have our ear. So it's a certain level that really does see the value of investing. You know, we always, Vidal used to say this, if you think education's expensive, try ignorance. And today, because there's a revolving door, kids think, well, the grass is greener over there. You know, at the end of the day, you're still going to go and mow the lawn. So
right.
You know, the reality is that, you know, you if you don't invest in your kids and your young staff, instead of them being an asset, they're a liability. But some people get so burnt by investing in their people, and then they leave and they go and open a business down the road, that they then say, that's it, I'm not going to give to them anymore. But at the end of the day, I think we have to be responsible for our own educational path. We should be responsible for our own motivation. We shouldn't have to have somebody pushing us the whole time. And if you are doing what you love, that comes naturally.
Right, yeah, and that's circles back to our original conversation is design the life that you want and build backing your career into it. It's been a great time to have a chance to hear your thoughts, Vivian. I know we're delighted that there's so much ahead for you. When you look at your most immediate goals, are there things that, if you could have it today, that you would love to add to the success that you're already doing?
No, I'm thoroughly enjoying what I'm doing. I just want to do what I'm doing better and better, and just continue to be creative and add value to people's lives.
That's great. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today and for all of the amazing work that you're doing in the world. We appreciate you. If somebody wanted to reach you, how was the best way to reach out to you?
I would say the best way to reach is either through Facebook at Hair Designer TV or Vivienne Mackinder, or you can go to our website, hairdesignertv.com, and you can go there. And I have a blog, too, which is Vivienne Mackinder. So plenty of ways to reach me. And I thank you so much for the great questions that you asked today. And I hope that everyone found it valuable.
Thank you. So that will do it for us today. We hope that you'll be with us next week when we talk about inside health and beauty with Smart Pressed Juice. We thank you for listening. Send your questions and comments to requests at American Made Beauty. I'm Patty Schmucker. You're listening to Radio AMB on healthylife.net, where we think pretty is pretty important in all things in beauty.